I need you to stop what you are doing and look at your phone screen right now. I have a question that is going to split this comment section in half, and I want your honest answer before the video is over. If you saw a heart monitor go flatline, you would say the patient is dead. But what if at the exact same moment the heart stopped, the brain activity spiked to levels never seen before? Would you call that death, or would you call it something else? I want you to go to the comments and type DAD if you trust the eyes, or CAGNG if you trust the energy, because NASA just released 2 files that tell 2 completely different stories about the object we call Third-Eye Atlas, and they can't both be true. For the last month, the mainstream narrative has been simple: the show is over. The comet is dying. The threat, or the wonder, is fading away into the dark. And if you only look at the pictures from the Hubble Space Telescope, that story holds up. We have a timeline of images that documents a slow, agonizing death. It starts on November 30th. In this first frame, Third-Eye Atlas is a monster. There is a thick, violent jet of material blasting out of the nucleus, pointing directly toward the sun. It is bright, it is defined, and it screams of high energy activity. This was the peak. This was the moment everyone thought we were dealing with a major event. But then we move to December 4th. The jet is still there, but it's tired. The sharp edges are gone. The intense white core is starting to gray out. It looks like a fire that is running out of wood. By December 12th, the jet has essentially collapsed into a wide, fuzzy fan of dust. And by December 27th, the most recent image we have, the object looks like a ghost. The coma is round, soft, and symmetrical. In the language of astronomy, a round coma means the engine is off. There is no venting, no thrust, no directional chaos. It is just a ball of dust drifting in the wind. NASA looked at this data and essentially said, case closed. It's fading. But while the optical astronomers were writing the obituary, the radio astronomers were picking up a heartbeat that shouldn't exist. At the exact same time Hubble was watching the comet fade, the Giant Metrewave Radio Telescope, GMRT, was pointed at the same coordinates. Now, radio telescopes don't see dust. They don't see reflected sunlight. They see high energy physics. They see magnetic fields, plasma interactions, and ionization. If Third-Eye Atlas was truly dead, a cold rock floating in space, it should be radio silent. It should be a ghost on their screens too. But it wasn't silent. It was screaming. On December 17th and again on December 19th, right in the middle of the fading phase, the GMRT detected a signal coming from the object's core. And this wasn't a whisper. The signal's strength was logged at 10 sigma. To give you context, in the scientific world, 5 sigma result is the gold standard for a discovery. It means there is a 1 in a million chance it's a fluke. A 10 sigma signal is a statistical impossibility. It is a roar. It is undeniable proof that something massive is happening on that object. So we are left with a paradox that defies standard physics. How can an object be physically dead but electrically hyperactive? How can it stop releasing dust but start releasing massive amounts of radio energy? This brings us to the charging theory. When a comet dies naturally, it runs out of volatiles. The ice sublimates, the gas runs out, and the dust settles. Both the visual brightness and the electromagnetic activity should drop together. They are linked. But here, they have decoupled. The visual activity has dropped to near zero, but the electromagnetic activity has spiked. This profile matches something we see in technology, not nature. Think about a capacitor. When you are charging a system, you don't vent energy out, you contain it. You stop the leaks. You close the valves. To an outside observer, a system that is charging up looks quiet. It looks dormant. But inside, the potential energy is climbing through the roof. The radio signal detected by GMRT is consistent with a plasma sheath. This happens when an object creates such a strong magnetic field that it traps ionized gas around itself. This sheath would effectively block the release of dust, explaining why Hubble sees a round, calm coma while simultaneously emitting a powerful radio signature. So, the question shifts from, is it dying, to why is it shielding itself? If Third Eye Atlas is a natural object, we are witnessing a freak event, a metallic core interacting with the solar wind in a way we have never documented before. Perhaps the crust has sealed over, trapping the pressure inside, turning the nucleus into a ticking time bomb that is generating massive static discharge. But if we look at this through the lens of the third iteration theory, the idea that this is a probe, then the data takes on a much darker meaning. A probe that is done with its observation phase might enter a new mode. If it needs to transmit data back home, or if it needs to execute a high-energy maneuver, it would need to conserve power. It would shut down the non-essential venting. It would darken its windows, and it would divert all that energy into its core systems. The 10 sigma signal might be the hum of that engine turning on. We have seen this pattern before in our own history. Before a submarine fires a torpedo, it goes silent. Before a storm breaks, the wind dies down. Silence is not always an ending. Sometimes it is a preparation. The discrepancy between the eyes of Hubble and the ears of the GMRT is the smoking gun. NASA is focusing on the eyes because the eyes tell a safe story. Look, it's fading. Go back to sleep. But the ears tell us that the object is humming with power. We are currently in the blind spot. The GMRT data is complex, and it takes weeks to process. By the time we confirm what that 10 sigma spike really means, Third Eye Atlas will be even further away, or it will have done whatever it is charging up to do. So I am asking you again to look at the evidence. On one hand, you have the visual fade, the round, sleepy coma. On the other, you have the radio spike, the impossible electrical surge. Do you believe the picture, or do you believe the signal? If it's dead, why is it screaming? If it's just a rock, how is it generating a magnetic shield? My gut tells me we are misinterpreting the silence. We are looking at a closed door and assuming the room is empty, but we are ignoring the light coming from under the crack. Third Eye Atlas isn't saying goodbye. It is taking a deep breath. And whatever comes next, whether it's a breakup, a burst, or a maneuver, is going to catch us all off guard. The corpse is singing, and usually the only things that sing in the dark are things that want to be found or things that are about to hunt. Go to the comments. Tell me your verdict. Is it DE'd or is it CHERING? The data is in front of you. The choice is yours. But remember, in space, the most dangerous things are the ones you stop paying attention to.